Yeah,
Are we?
I think we are live. I was just about to open chat, and then I realised that I don't have chat here. Actually, if anyone is watching, can you please let us know if sound and video is working?
I'm watching.
You're watching?
I'm watching. And it says waiting for you to start.
Oh, really? That's a
hang
bit
on.
of a delay.
Hang on.
Actually, if anyone's looking.
No,
No one wants to hear a little bit of feedback. G'day, folks. How's it going? Say g'day in the chat and let us know if everything's working okay. And yes, we will get back to you as soon as something pops up. I think everything's a bit slow this morning.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Things aren't working too well on our end.
Antonio's there. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Antonio is from Tennessee. How's it going, mate? Actually, we can improve this view. Do you want to improve the view, Bianca?
Oh.
Go on.
You've been all tricky and stuff.
Oh, yeah, sort of. Give you a bit of a look at what it's like here today. It's a beautiful day. G'day, David. How's it going, mate? I can hear you. Can you see this? I certainly can, mate. Certainly can. Thought we'd give you guys a bit of a look at the paddock out the front. Overgrown. But yeah, it's a beautiful day here in the Wide Bay area. So yeah.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Everyone.
Hope everyone's well and happy. Everyone's getting ready for their gardens over in the US of A and Europe and all those cooler climates. And everyone here in Australia is winding down for winter. Actually, we should be ramping up.
We should be ramping up for winter.
Yeah, so Bianca and I are getting, as the days cool down, we're getting more and more motivated to do bits and pieces around the place. So that's been fun and games.
I've saved those pepper seeds too.
Oh, you did? Yeah, we bought some bull's horn. What they didn't call them bull's horn. What do they call them?
I think it's something stupid like long red
capsicum. So yeah, it started to save some seeds. We're actually moving the gardens around. The gardens that are in the little caged off area from the wallabies, we're actually going to be moving them down. Bianca doesn't know about this yet. I decided I was in there yesterday watering them, and it's just getting far too overgrown. I think they call it wandering dew or something like that. It's just a creeper. So we want
what's around the tanks.
Yeah, the one around the tanks.
The one I beat with a stick every time I have to turn the tank on.
Yeah, just in case there's a red belly. Yeah, so we want to move the plants out of there and sort of rehabilitate that area. And we also need to do some maintenance on the water tanks. So yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, so moving the plants down maybe a little bit later this afternoon after I knock off some more bits and pieces with the guide. Samson's Pressure Cooking King. Hello, everybody. We are from the USA, Palm Beach, Florida. How's it going? Know a fair few people in Florida. There was Michael. He's an old supporter along with Frank. And
Frank doesn't live in Florida anymore.
No, he's moved back. His wife's retired from the Air Force. So I think he's moved back to a homestead in Florida somewhere. There was a lady who used to follow us quite a bit down there as well. I can't remember her name though. I want to say Sue, but anyway. Yeah, beautiful.
That lovely artist lady.
No, that is she's in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
David says wandering Jew is horrible. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we
everywhere around the tanks.
Yeah, and it's actually climbed up and it's into the garlic ginger.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I started pulling it out and I pulled out a couple of small bulbs of ginger that was creeping along. So yeah, not too happy about that. I'm going to fix that camera. Please bear with me.
It's a bit
out. Bit overblown, isn't it? Maybe how does that look if we point it down? Does that look any better?
See the mow line.
You can see the mow line? Yeah. We're still using a push mower here. You can see the little snake barrier we have.
Stopped there.
Yeah, so we've just got we just mow up to a certain point. so we can see if there's any snakes around the place when Jack goes out. Not only that, as you can see in the background, we have a bit of a weed issue. So yeah, just in the house paddock, we're keeping the flower heads of that grass off.
It looks much better on your camera than it does on mine.
Does it? Yeah. Different computer, different screen.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a little security zone, and thank you very much, Craig, by Metal Art by Craig. Thank you very much for the lend of the mower. We really do appreciate it.
Antonio says, I've heard that putting a copper rod in water will prevent algae from growing in the water, but is it harmful for fish as well?
Yeah, copper is not a good thing to have in your water supply for your fish, if you're talking aquaponics and ponds and that sort of thing. So yeah, it can be quite toxic at certain levels. A little bit, I mean, I've gotten away with having brass taps which have a bit of copper in them. People said I'd poison my fish, but I got away with that for about 12 months before I swapped them out. But yeah, it's best policy not to have any in the system. That's really distracting having that up there. So I'm going to switch the camera unless you folks want me to leave it there. Let us know if you'd like me to bring the landscape back. How do I turn this off? Oh, I've forgotten how to turn it off. Here we go. I think it's that one. There we go. Has that worked? I'll have to wait and see when the live stream catches up. So yeah, oh, actually, I also have to do something else. I have to go and do the spruik. Well, there we go. Now we've got a picture in picture. How do we get rid of that? Do we do it? Ah, there we go. Sorry, folks. I needed to do a bit of a spruik around the different social medias. I'm just going to do this really, really quickly. Post, Podia supporters, post. And facepalm, where have I got facepalm set up? Down on that tab. Post. So there we go. We got visitors.
No, we must be going up the back paddock.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
No, he's off out.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, you could have met we turned the camera off too early. You could have met our neighbour. Truck full of hay and all. He's just been baling Rhodes grass as a cattle feed. So hey Rouge. Yeah, he runs a local produce store. If anyone wants to buy a produce store in Childers, I know of one up for sale. But he farms his own Rhodes grass, and he's had also he does barley and
was it millet?
Might have been millet as well. Yeah, he does those as a feedstock on his property for his own thing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we know where to go get Rhodes grass when we get the cattle and the goats and need a little bit of extra fodder. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm over caffeinated.
Whenever you had.
Oh, this is number 2 and a bit, very close together. Oh, we had a bit of a update on the mower situation. We were going off, I think last time we did a hangout, we mentioned that we'd be going off and looking at buying a zero turn.
And then it turned back into a mini tractor.
Yeah, mini tractor with a slasher, one of those little compact jobs. Michael over in the States, one of our supporters, he's got one. Darren down at Hervey Bay has got one as well. And 420, I know. Thank you. Brian said happy 420 yesterday as well. Yeah, so we were looking at one of those little subcompacts. We were looking at a case. It was a case or a New Holland. No, it was from the case deal. It was a New Holland. And it was a little bucket, had the mid deck mower and also a 3-point on the back, and didn't come with a slash or anything, did it? No, it didn't.
No, just with the mowing.
Yeah, just them. Yeah. Well, we looked at a few different ones. So that one there, they wanted what, 30? That was basically 30 grand delivered.
Yeah.
Brand
sounded expensive, but that was really cheap.
That was really cheap. He looked after us on the price of that one. So that's something we might look at in the future, but we've decided just for the time being.
I don't have spare 30 grand.
No, we don't. No, we were waiting for that bucket to fall out of the sky, but it didn't happen, full of cash. So we've decided we're going to do a repair on the greenfield. We were going, I was looking at doing the swap over motor myself. But for paying an extra $200-300, we get the luxury of getting a 2-year warranty with a swap over by Waldo's in at Bundaberg. So they're going to give us a 2-year warranty on the motor itself. As long as we service it with bits we buy from them, which they're not that expensive. So we're going to do that. So she's off to the shop on the 29th. And yeah, we'll end up with something we can do the house paddock with, and the tractor. I've given myself a bit of a deadline with the guide. I'm redoing the guide. There's a few bits I need to do with the guide, and then I'll be yeah, working on the tractor, getting it up and going again, and slashing the paddock down towards the dam, and also do the bio line again and slash the back paddocks, and we can start working out what we're going to do fence wise for the goats. So we need to work out where we're going to start them off.
Yes.
Yes, but before we get the goats, one job leading to another. We were talking about water before moving the gardens. The reason we need to move the gardens is the pipe leading from the tanks to the pump is leaking somewhere. We actually don't know if it's leaking between the pump and the tanks because there's no cut-off valve after the pumps to anything, which, yeah, so we can't isolate bits and pieces and find out where it's leaking. So we're going to start at the front, or the front of the beginning, the origin of the water. And we're going to work from the tanks and move our way forward towards the pump and make sure that line is all secure. Actually, we're going to be digging that up anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all uneven and the tanks are sinking on one side.
So yeah, but we need, for the time being, the tanks are going to be staying there for a month or two minimum. So we need to just secure that line. We actually need to put a new pump in as well because the other one burnt out. We kept getting the breaker switch and that shed kept flicking all the time. And I've worked out it's the pump because nothing else plugged into that that system is tripping the switch. So yeah, it is an old pump. Yeah. We were looking at it, and we were thinking B reckons that it was the one that was on the house originally, and then they've moved it over there.
House pump, they've probably moved it up to there when they replaced the house pump.
Yeah, so and I think I remember seeing my father having an old Audi garden pump in a box in the back shed. So if there's one there when I go down next, or when B goes down for work in a week or two, we might grab that and then just hook it up, because at the moment I'm just watering everything by gravity, which is fine because one of the tanks is full, so that's fine. We're getting a load of, not a load of pressure, but decent pressure coming out of it. But yeah, so we move those gardens down to just in front of the house here, and then we'll yeah, I dig up that line, work out what's going on there, tidy up that area, and get ready to move the you're looking at Marketplace for a water pump, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's around the area.
Yeah. So dig up that line, and then once the tractor is sorted, we're actually going to get rid of that other the large water tank that's got the crack in it, and we're going to move those two smaller tanks to the other end of the shed on a concrete pad, and have the roof gutters just swap over the spouts and put them in the other end, because I've already checked it, and the gutters aren't level anyway, so they need to be tweaked a bit to get the water to move anyway. So yes, that's the job we need to sort out, because we can't really have goats and all the rest of it without a decent water source. We did have an awesome bloke chip in a couple of hangouts ago to get a firefighter pump from the dam. So we've got that aside. So once we get the tank sorted out, firefighter pump in the dam. Oh, actually, no, don't need a firefighter pump. We were suggested we get a high lift pump. So we get one of those down on the dam to fill up the tanks, and then we'll have water security for the goats, because we don't really want to run them off the house water. We would like the gardens and the livestock to be separate from the house water.
Yes.
Yes, Jack, you're very, very clever. He's on his back.
He's a happy boy.
He's a happy boy. Yeah, so a lot of little jobs we still haven't gotten to do. The winter means that we'll be able to get to all that stuff. Things are a lot cooler. Went to the markets yesterday and walked by a couple of seedlings. Went, get a couple of Asian greens and broccoli maybe. Because they tend to do the best through winter.
Yes, please.
Yes. So
Wombok.
Wombok. We can do wombok for your kimchi.
Make kimchi from scratch.
And we're going to the markets mainly because they're the only guys that sell the daikon radish, the big long white Asian radish. Bianca makes what is it, a pickle?
Yeah, just pick the daikon.
Not my favourite, but yeah, made it in the past, but I don't like it. Yeah. So any other plans we have, Bianca?
Oh, too many.
Ooh, goats. Hello, Ali. How's it going? Oh, and also Hanu and Mayor if you're watching. I know Kira won't be. Nature's brush cutter, certainly. Yeah, we figure we're speaking to a lot of people about what we've been told, just getting back to the rat tail grass, we've been told by a lot of people, and I've seen people berate other people online about it, you're going to destroy your animal's teeth and all the rest of it. Feeding them on rat tail grass. That's just random people online and people in government agencies who want to control rat tail grass. But if you talk to actual farmers who have goats and cattle, every single one of them has said, don't get rid of it.
Protein.
Yeah, keep it. It makes it really, there's a reason the government brought it into the country to trial it. Seems the government brought it on us, just like the cane toads. And if you keep it mowed, keep it nice and slashed, and the regrowth coming up fresh all the time, it's actually a really, really good grass. Doesn't destroy their teeth at that stage. It's not tough. It's not hard. It's only when you let it go, like we have at the moment, if that's all they had to feed on, it can destroy their teeth. But if you can manage your paddock like the old owners did, even though I think they didn't really need to slash it because the place was overgrazed from what we've been told by people. It's not going to affect their teeth. So it's something we're going to learn to live with while trialing the fungus, and also that I still like the idea Daniel Lawton gave us when he was here doing the plans for the dams and the earthworks. He overbrewed some anaerobic tea, and everywhere he dribbled it through the yard when he was moving the bucket, it just killed a big streak of grass. So that got us thinking, well, he said after a while it grew back. It was a lush green strip of growth through the yard, but it got us thinking that maybe we could control spot outbreaks in the house paddock and different bits and pieces around the place in different small holding yards. We could treat it using something like that while still adding fertility in. And as someone else I was talking to the other day was saying, it's a fertility issue as well. Fixing the soil will actually help reduce the amount we have. So yeah, that's all stuff on the cards. You've probably heard it a dozen times if you've been on these streams before. So yeah, and a big shout out, Kyle down at Gimpy Lawnmowers. Thank you very much, mate. He set me on the path of a nice brush cutting. It's one of those anvil head brush cutting wheels.
For like a torture device.
Yeah, it does. Should I run down and grab it?
Oh no.
You go down. You know where it is?
Yeah. It's on the bench.
No, it's on just as you walk into the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on the bench. I call it the bench. So we've got a new head for that I'll put on the big still, and we'll take out. The still's just a little bit more powerful than Bianca's Honda. So we'll take that out and give it a bit of a flogging in the paddock. Once I get a bit of time. Spending a lot of time just doing the spot with the snipping at the moment and mowing when not working on the guide. So it was on the drawers, wasn't it? Not the bench.
Next to the bench. Shut up.
Next to the bench. So I won't do the grand man. Take it now. Whoop.
Oh, there's that bit.
A little brush on him. That's it there. Whoops. There we go. So it's got a couple of arms that swing off. Not really sharp, just blunt. A little bush for the center. But yeah, we'll try. Oh, there we go. Patent pending Australia weed whack. So that's what we're going to try. See how that goes. The problem with the blade when just using the blade heads on the line on the brush cutter is it just lays the grass over and makes it harder to get to the next stand of grass that you're trying to cut. So yeah, he suggested giving this a crack just to see how it goes because it might be slightly more efficient at breaking up the stalks rather than just letting them fall over like you were mowing it. Yeah, hay wise, straw
They're
wise.
going real fast, it's going to be really brutal.
And it's a lot lighter than the actual other blade too. I'm just a bit concerned about the pins flying out, but they look like they've been the rivets have been rolled over nice and firmly, and there's a bit of meat on them. Yeah, because one of them coming out and hitting your shins at a couple of 100 RPM. Yeah, wouldn't be nice. Mm. Yes. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask or questions or whatever? Feel free to throw them in the comment section. Yeah, I'm slightly unprepared for today's talk. I've just been looking at computer screens all week. Yeah.
Yes, you have.
So yesterday was a mowing day. I had a day off, Easter Sunday, to mow, and then today I'll get back at it after this and do some more of the guide. Actually, I might give a bit of a maybe try a mulching blade. I haven't tried mine yet. Yeah, no,
We've got one.
no, the guy down at Hervey Bay suggested that mulching blade.
Yeah, what's the one we've got though?
Oh, it's just a straight. It's
Oh,
just a
just a
straight
cutting
blade.
blade.
Yeah, and I've got one of Dad's got a I found one of Dad's old. It's a timber offcut blade, and he's modified it for the whippersnapper. So I brought that back up last time as well. And he also had he didn't have the tri blade. No, there's another blade in there, but I don't think it was I think it was a prototype he was working on. So yeah, I have them here. I'll pop them on and see how they go. But the guy down at Hervey,
Not comfortable with that.
I'll hold it away from the body. How's that?
Yeah, really far away.
Yeah, the guy down at Hervey Bay, he suggested one. It almost looked like a square, didn't it? It wasn't
Yeah,
cylindrical.
real
It had real gnarly.
narrow teeth.
Yeah, and he suggested that would be better for mulching than what we were using. So, pardon me, that was a bit of a.
Well, I just like to see fire to it.
Yeah, we could. The problem with setting fire to it is something we wouldn't mind doing, mainly because there's not a lot of awesome quality grasses growing in the paddock. So because setting fire to that also hurts the seed load of the other grasses there, but it destroys, what do they say? Up to
80%.
Up to 80% of the seed on the ground will be destroyed by fire with the rat tail grass. The problem we have is the local fireys, apparently they don't come out and do private paddock burns anymore. So it's just a funding issue. They don't have the time. And as the guy said, they're all farmers, or most of them are farmers anyway. It's not exactly like they have the time off to do it. But they did suggest that if we do small strip burns, just with us and a couple of other people and a couple of water trailers,
Yeah.
with firefighting pumps on them, that'd be something we could easily handle. And they were saying, one guy said just do 2 meter strips through the paddock continually. Yeah, that's a big paddock. What, it's 40 acres plus of 2 meter strips. So 2 meter strips, what's that? 6 foot strips. So
Easy to control.
yeah. I just saw, Antonio, if you bag your grass, you can make compost tea. Certainly can. There is a lot of grass. There is a lot of grass. That stuff you can see just on the other side of the fence. I don't know if you can see my pointer. That there is probably around about 3. The flower heads are hitting around about 4 foot tall. So yeah, it's rather tall. And there is a lot of it. And yeah.
I didn't have my glasses on and I could see the white pointer and I thought, oh, the heron's back.
The heron. Oh yeah, we had a big white heron fly in this morning. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if I can scroll this in. No, I can't scroll the camera in. There's a couple of
An industrial amount of compost tea.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Huge
couple of
vats.
cormorants and a grey heron was down there earlier.
No,
Anyway,
the 2 cormorants are on the dam.
they're still there.
Yeah. I don't know if you can zoom on
I
that
think
thing.
no, I can't. No. And what am I doing? What am I doing, Bianca?
I don't know.
How do I do it? There we go.
Yeah, weirdo.
Sorted. Yeah, so we got loads of green. That's and a lot of weed trees as well, the black wattle. So there is I wasn't belittling as yeah, there is a lot of greenery we could make compost tea with. There's also the biochar aspect, and something else I've been looking into is gasifying. I've seen for years there's been different videos on YouTube, guys running their trucks with little gasifiers in them in the States, basically getting the wood gas as they're making char, getting the wood gas to come out. Did you hear that? That was Jack. Hope the wind blows the other way. Yeah, they're running their trucks on the wood gas that comes out of the timber as they're making char on the back. So I've seen a couple of little generators done that way. I saw another short this morning, a guy that's running a wood pellet stove out of a 44-gallon drum, just with the coal down the bottom, slowly burning the pellets. I bookmarked it to go back and find the actual video. I think it's on Cody's Labs. Yeah, he's running the smoke through a radiator to cool it. And then the gas is running into a little Briggs motor and running the motor. I think he said it was a 30-pound bag or a 20-pound bag. I don't know how big they come over there, but might have been a 40-pound. But he reckons it will run that generator for 3 days, the little motor for 3 days. So that's another thing we were thinking about. Mucking around with a gasifier, if we're making char out of wood chipped black wattle. Bianca's not privy to this yet.
No, I'm learning new things today.
If we wood chip I go down these little things and yeah, I just want to
These little rabbit holes.
Yeah.
I'll talk to her about that later.
then I forget. But yeah, wood chip up the black wattle as we get it because a lot of it's dead anyway, and we want to get a PTO driven chipper so we can do. It's not a hard wood, but it'd be enough to sort of pelletize it, chip it down, and then make a gasifier onto a generator, and then try charging batteries with it. Yes, because I don't know a lot about electrical. So and the solar generation and that AC, DC and the inverters and all the rest of it. So it's something I want to learn. So yeah, it was just a thought I had. If we're making char and we're bleeding off gas, we might as well try and use that gas to in some of the retort designs I've seen, they bleed off that gas and then they feed it back into the fire to make the burn more efficient, to make more char. But I was thinking, well, you know, back up electricity for the house, because our goal here is to become off grid eventually, isn't it? Yeah. When we moved in, we were getting paid for all our electricity. We were actually getting a rebate back from the government on the lowest tariff there was for the first 2 quarters, 3 quarters. And then the week it's swapped over to a smart meter, we now have to pay for power. So something happened the same week they put that smart meter on. We now are not generating enough solar to go back to the grid, and we're paying for power. So I just figured stuff it. Well, the diagnostic shows there's nothing wrong with the panels from what I can see on the screen. So yeah, if we could go off grid, make our own power. Another thing we've spoken about, I have spoken to Bianca about, is wind turbines.
Yeah. No, you did talk to me about that.
Not those big stinking stupid fiberglass things that ruin the environment all up and down the coast of Australia. National parks, killing koalas and things like that. Small little stainless steel, the vertical wind turbines. I've seen a few people play around with them because we've got a breeze blowing now. We've always got a breeze blowing here. Very rare that we've got a still day here. And in the afternoon, when that sea breeze kicks in, it's fanging it. So
I was just looking before thinking, oh, we could burn that timber today. It's quite still.
yeah, we want to burn out the 44s that we've got
There's
for the
a
biochar.
snake in it.
Oh yeah, there'll be snakes there. It's all good. They're keeping the mice down in the chicken pen. That's what they're there for. So down under fella, look into a wind turbine. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, definitely doing the wind turbines. So I've seen the African there was a
3 days, but it wasn't under load.
what was that? Sorry.
That you were saying before about the
I've seen the same video.
Pretty sure he said 3 days, but
It wasn't under load, yeah. So we're thinking if we're making if we're making char, the fire's going to be a lot bigger. We'll be collecting a lot more gas. And then just small gen set and see how we go.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, we've got the
Plug and play. Everything we've
44s
ever had
too.
is plug and play.
Yeah, David's got charcoal on 44s, not running anything on gas.
Oh, okay,
We
cool.
got the 44s as well too.
Yeah.
Do that.
Hi, Leslie and
Charcoal.
David. Wonder if we're related at all. I know Dad had an uncle down in come over from Melbourne. Dad's father came over from England. We found the paperwork yesterday. He worked for British Tobacco in India and then came over in the 40s, I think. 30s. Anyway. I've often wondered that anyway, Leslie and David. Yeah, the chars, we need to do those drums. We keep putting it off. I've got the air chisel here now. So I really didn't want to hit them with the grinder. Oh, that's right. We were waiting for the pump to fill them with water to flush them out.
And
So they didn't go bang
so,
and then pumps.
Okay.
It's always
I talked to a guy who uses magnetrons from a microwave.
oh yeah.
Polymers plastic, is that right?
Pyrolyze.
Pyrolyze, plastic into diesel and gasoline. You could probably make a pyrolyzer.
Okay. I haven't seen. I know. I've heard of people pulling them out and playing around with them, but yeah.
Okay. It's just part of the thrill.
Danger noodles. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I can have thrill away from my house.
Well, so far around we saw that one red belly that got moved along when Mum was visiting.
Yeah, the last couple of snakes have been the
pythons. Yeah, I've seen carpet snakes.
You can hang around.
Yeah,
that's
they can
fine.
hang around.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, but definitely need to pull my finger out and sort out a few of these projects.
Finish the guide, please.
I know I've got to finish the guide. I've got the guide has been released, by the way, folks. I haven't made a big hoo-ha about it because, as Bianca will probably punch me in a minute, not on camera though.
Depends what you say.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I want the guides. Retrieve were in charge of doing the guide to begin with, and they just threw it up there. I want it to have a little bit more information in it, so I've got the bulk of the normal, the original videos up there, plus about.
You've amended some.
Oh, I've amended pretty much all of them. I've re-edited, added bits into it, and taken bits out that weren't relevant anymore. So yeah, those videos have all been done. I've making text, important notes and amended bits. No, notes and what am I calling it? I forgot.
Notes, words,
words, and alternate information. Hang on, we can bring it up here. Oh, I can show people because I have the power of the computer.
you know how to work it.
That post never published on Facebook. Sorry, Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Zoomy doom. No, we want screens. And we'll share that one, and we want to go to that one. There we go. I don't know if this is going to come through, but the guide as it stands. I just rubbed my nose. I just saw him there, and then I just saw it there. So there's a delay between the studio, and then there's a delay between the live. Oh, yep, we just flushed over to something.
Yep, and now I'm flashing over.
Well, I don't know why we were on that. I went to screen.
No, I went to that first.
Did it?
I clicked over.
Okay. Nope. Sorry, guys. I don't want camera. Now that computer's gone. Screens. Application screen. There we go, folks. Got it sorted. Definitely not a professional, that's for sure. So
User error.
Yeah, the course as it stands at the moment, I've already got a note, a welcome note. I'm letting folks know that it's still a work in progress as such. And then down on the lessons, we have Bianca's just waiting for it to. There's a long lag. Then we come down into the lesson areas. They're like this one here. What is aquaponics and how does it work? It's the video plays through. I'll just mute it. The video plays through. Oh, the other thing I'm doing is because Retrieve looked after all the bits and pieces with the closed captions and all that. I've had to make my own closed captions, so that's been fun. They pretty much all get auto-generated, but then because of my lazy English, I have to go in and alter it all, and I say mils instead of millimeters, and have to go and alter that and all the rest of it. So the captions eventually, there's a transcription service I want to subscribe to. Once I start getting some money in from this, I'm going to transcribe it into Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, or Portuguese. I don't think they differentiate it most places. Spanish, Portuguese, German, French, and there's Hindi. And I don't know whether I'll do Chinese or not yet, Mandarin. I'll wait and see. So I think most people in Malay who followed me before, they speak English anyway, Malaysia. So yeah, anyway, you got the video there, pause, nice action shot. Then down below, we've just got like key themes and information. So at the moment, this is the only one that's decked out all nice. Oh, actually, no, there's two more. So they've got bits like that, and then you can leave comments down below. You can actually interact with me on the guide itself. So I get notifications with this one straight away via email when someone says something, and then I can come on and help you out with any bits and pieces that you're missing. But I wanted to show you these ones. Oh yeah, and then all the different ones. I think there's 29. Actually, there's 28 because this first one, this welcome one's classed as a lesson. Oh, and the aquaponics one, if we can go back up to this one. So there's the quiz as well. A few people have seen that. The answers are all correct in the quiz, by the way, folks. There was a bit of a trick question in one of them. Someone got caught and they emailed me. So I don't know why the quiz isn't starting. Maybe because I've already done it. It's not starting. Oh, something's hiding under there. No, anyway, I'll work that out. Why isn't it working? Oh, because it's loading. Oh, we've got all these different computers online, that's why.
Yeah.
Connection slow. Yeah, so just a basic quiz. You get no prize, but the satisfaction of getting it correct in the end.
Asked, are you using ChatGPT to help you write your guide? I'm
Nope.
asking it all sorts of wild questions about aquaponics. It gives me answers I can't quantify.
It's no, I don't use, sorry. I use AI with the structure. So what I do is I get my transcript and I plug it into Notebook LM, and it will structure it in because my English is not top notch. It helps me structure it into guidelines. It basically gets rid of all the small talk out of there and puts the key themes and ideas in, and then I rewrite it from that. It just gives me a structure. So that's what I am using. AI isn't doing any information. I'm not sourcing any information off AI. I played with ChatGPT with aquaponics and it gave some pretty dodgy responses.
It's also been proven to lie as well.
Yeah.
I've had it find some stuff out for me. And then I've asked for references and links to the references and gone into the references and it's not even mentioned. So
yeah. I don't trust AI at that point in time. Not the free versions. I'm sure if you paid for one of the expensive ones, it's like, looked over continually and developed by humans. It may be more accurate, but I'm not going to use the free open source ones. The other thing this one has is, well, here we go. Understanding ammonia and aquaponics. That's one that I've never really had a set bit of information on. It's in the other videos, like it's there randomly, but I think it's something that needs to be treated with when people first start, because there's ways you can hack the system, different ways to grow using fish and plants already do this. I've known about it for ages, but if the problem is if you tell people you can do it, people come back say, Rod, why are my fish dead? You said you could do it this way, and no, I didn't say you could do it this way. You didn't look at it all. You looked at the first 30 seconds as you were scrolling and you didn't look at it all. And yeah, you stuffed up, quite frankly. So yeah, I want to do something that actually explains water temperature, pH, and how ammonia and ammonium can swap between the two and the toxicity level, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, have a look on the guide when it comes out.
Antonio also asked, are you going to add sandponics section to your guide?
I am. That's the first aquaponic build. We're just waiting for the water to go down. We've only just had the water, side note. I'll come back, I promise. We've only just had the water come off the bridge last week, didn't we? Thursday. We still have water on the bridge Thursday from when we ended up with the island a couple of weeks ago. The last video we uploaded when we had the dams turn into creeks, turn into a creek. Yeah, so I'm waiting for the water to go down, and then I'm going to harvest some sand from the flood area of the creek, which is on our property, and then make up a little sand system. So there will be sandponics in there. There is a chap I messaged on, actually, we'll give you something to look at while we're doing this. I did message a guy got in contact with me on Facebook saying that he was starting his sand system up over Easter. So once it's for his winter veg, so once he starts it up, he invited me down to have a bit of a look at it. So I'm really keen on looking at that, mainly because Owen's was a hybrid system, and apparently you can't have hybrid IAVS. You either build it their way or it's the highway. They only work done one specific way. So I want to go see a pure IAVS system and draw my own conclusions. I've spoken to people who swear by them. They say they work. Been unfriended by some of the people in the community because apparently they don't like me because I use plastic. I don't know. So do they. Yeah, but there's a lot of hostility in that community for some reason. So I want to go speak to someone who's a little bit more level-headed, and I'll pick his brains and see how it goes. The small system we're doing is our old veranda system. That's just going to be a basic sand bed on top of a fish tank that needs to be fortified because sand weighs a lot. That's one of the reasons I've sort of balked at it in the past as well. I'm going to have to build a bit of a frame over it. Otherwise, remember how the clay started to blow out the fish tank that was falling in? So I'm going to have to do something to secure the top a little bit better. But anyway,
Downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs. Because, if you didn't watch our last video, we do have fish in the dams. We have spangled perch. I got video of the spangled perch coming over the road as the flood waters receded that afternoon. So
I was going to say, do you want to finish with this?
Oh yeah, I'll finish with this and we'll go. Yeah, I'm big on tangents. This one here has this is the how to build a chop and flip aquaponics. So you watch the video, it goes for like 20 minutes or so. It's got extra bits added in to stretch it out, more information, tips and tricks. You can either download this, all the information under the videos will be downloaded eventually. What you saw before and what is aquaponics will be turned into a situation like this, where you get more pictures that help explain bits like this, explain the layouts. What else have we got? Cladding the system, thoughts on design, the pump, aeration, different hoses. So more information. The same information is in the video with extra bits added in because they either weren't thought of at the time or they're just stuff that's happened later. Yeah, so this is what I would like for the guide to be. Not only a video that you can sit down and watch, but more information underneath, adding a load more value to it as far as I'm concerned. And once they're all looking schmicko like this one here, I'll be upping the price by $10 probably. Everyone reckons it's under a lot, not everyone, but a lot of people have said I'm undercharging at the moment.
There's a lot of work in that.
Yeah, so, and there's a lot of help that they offer. The amount of people have told me that, you know, that they were getting disillusioned until they got the guide and then could see what they were doing wrong and all the rest of it. So, yeah. That's the guide. I was going off on a tangent and you told me to finish this. What was that? Oh, the fishies. The fishies.
Yeah.
If I'm just going to stop sharing, but I'm going to see if I can find a picture of this perch because I think I.
Well, while you're looking, Drew Beat said, I'm in Las Vegas, hot. Do I need to keep water chilled?
Depends on the fish species. Tilapia, I'm fairly sure, can handle a fairly high water temp.
What's the average temperature in Vegas?
In the shade on the sun, like it gets way hotter than here. Like it gets up close to 50, I've been told.
July 41.
Oh, is that all?
Hang
Oh,
on.
that's the same as us.
That's July.
Then again, on the strip, under
Please
lights,
hold.
concrete.
Oh, 40, 41, July, August.
There you go. Now, I don't know.
It probably just wanted under shade,
Yeah,
so it doesn't overheat your plants more.
yeah, a bit of shade over the top of it. Make sure you grab a species of fish that can handle it. I'm not 100% sure on the American catfish. I know the Australian Tandanus can handle it fairly hot, but if you could keep your water temperature below, I'm going to say 30 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Let me grab my handy dandy pocket calculator.
Well, tilapia is big in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, tilapia is, but there are some state
Well, they can take 25 to 30 degrees.
there are some state restrictions on tilapia though. Sorry guys. Here we go. 86 apparently. So I've had the jade perch. You can't. Oh, some people are selling them, but that's a different story. I've had the jade perch up to 33 degrees water temperature when we had a week long of 40s. So yeah, it was up around the 100 mark atmospheric, and it was up around the 90s in the water. And the jade perch just would not stop eating. Their metabolisms and fired up that much. So yeah, I didn't overfeed. I actually got rather worried that I may have overfed them at one stage. Just because I was so hungry. I think
While you're still looking for that video,
yes.
Antonio's got a good one.
Yep.
Can you use activated biochar pebbles instead of hydrogen in the aquaponics system? What if you did a dual root zone?
A dual root zone is in
How would that be though?
So-
Biochar.
activated biochar, and then at the base of it in the beds is a dual root zone. Like, so my big issue with the biochar and charcoal is it'll break up, and you'll end up with you'll end up with black water, but you'll end up with
fine particulate and fish gills.
yeah, the fine particulate being a problem. That would be about it. Because it's inert. Once you rinse it, it's inert. Yeah, it's just not something I'd recommend as a grow media in a bed that floods and drains or has constant flow of water through there. As a dual root zone though, part of something like that, yeah, I can't see why not, as long as the water was wicking up and you weren't having rain push the particulate through. I can't see the problem there. It's not something I've personally done. So, and I've lost all my photos. Where are all my photos?
I thought you were looking for the fish video.
Well, oh, there we go. Yeah, I am. That's why I need my photos for that. Flood. Where's the flood? When was the flood?
A couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. We thinking March?
Yes, it was in March.
You sure?
Yes, it was in March.
Okay.
March, April.
No, it wouldn't be March. It would be March Farms. Or the bit that says flood and
Flood
stuff.
and bits.
Yeah, there we go. Where's me fishy? Here he is.
Share.
I'm just going to line it up. Right, folks. There you go. Sharing. Just sharing's caring. Here we go. So this is a little Spangled perch. I thought it was a bass. when I first saw it. So this is on the neighbour's side of the road. The floodwaters have just gone down, and this little fella wanted to get into our dam. So he's a little spangled perch.
He's quite welcome.
Quite welcome. Here's actually the species of perch that we wanted to buy for the deck aquaponics system when we're going to set it up with fish. So yeah, there's a guy hatchery down near north side of Brisbane that does them. So it'd be easy enough to pick them up on the way and drive them home from visiting the girls or something. Just 3 or 4 of them, or I could try and catch them in the dam and then acclimatize them to pellets, which I have. I do know of a few people who've wild caught fish and tried to acclimatize them on or get them onto pellets, and they lose a fair few. I'm more than happy to buy aquaculture fish and then pop them in there. Worst case scenario, decide I don't want. You can eat them, but they don't grow that big. If I decide I don't want them anymore, I can pop them in the dams, and I'm not going to harm the environment at all. So,
They bring it in dams.
yeah, they just apparently.
Well,
so they breed
was a
in the
creek.
creek. Yeah,
that was a creek then.
Yeah,
It's not a creek anymore.
yeah, yeah. So they're the sort of fish I'd be looking at raising in that small little aquaponic system, sand system. I don't want to call it IAVS because I won't be doing it the same as them, and they get really upset when you call it IAVS and it's not. Sandponics is a copyrighted hydroponics name, so I can't call it that. So Aquasands. That sounds like something you turn upside down to make pretty landscapes.
I'm thinking like a sad superhero.
Aquasands. Or a retirement village.
Oh yeah.
Aquasands at Hervey Bay. Yeah, so no. Oh, what's the chat saying? That just flipped. Sandponics. Yes, there will be a sound once I've actually got a module on I am putting in looking at sand grow beds. That will be just using what I've learned from Owen. So there will be a section in there just looking at his system, and this other chap, if I get to go down and look at his system, there'll be if it's set up proper IVS, I'll do a proper IVS one as well. Documentation, as far as I'm aware, they've put, which is, goes to the guy's credit, Dr. McMurtry's. He's got open source. Everything he does is open source. So I actually can use his content on the guide. It's copyright 4.0, blah, 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 whatever. Open source, even for commercial, but I won't commercialize it. I'm not going to rip him off. So, yeah.
How something goes with me as superhero.
Superhero? Oh, okay. I'm surprised she's still hanging around. Most people turn me off after half an hour. Yeah, so the sandponics and also the dual root zone. To my way of thinking, soil will always be king, but there's always that tricky thing that comes up where fish don't grow well in soil. So, yeah.
No, but plants grow well when fish are in soil.
Yeah, plants do grow well when fish are in soil. They do. Oh, funny. Yeah. We had a fish kill in our system because I was turned the water off to show someone, and when you run a venturi, it's not a good idea to keep them oxygenated. Lost a whole heap of fish. Their son distracted me. And we ended up putting around the drip line of the lime tree.
Tree did really well.
The tree always looks so sick with a lot of intervanual chlorosis, and we could never do the iron, do the magnesium, do the soil pH, and do the citrus food, do everything we could. But it always pumped out the fruit, didn't it?
But it's the same. We had a lemon tree out the back, and we had a chicken die.
Yeah.
And we buried the chicken under the tree.
Right under the drip line.
We ended up with so many lemons on this tree, it cracked the trunk.
Yeah, and we're talking about a 4-inch diameter trunk.
Yeah.
So, or 10 centimeter.
That was a good tree.
Yeah, so
be careful burying animals under trees.
Yeah, and I think we've already mentioned our other Hamish H from Nordic Goat Farmers helped us out with this. He's pointed us in the right direction, making up some fertilizer out of the toads. So that's something else. That's the other night. That was like you came in. How many did you count within like a 5 square meter patch?
Oh, there was like 40 there,
Yeah,
but they're dropping off. I only saw 3 last night.
yeah. It's got to do with the weather. So, but if we go toad hunting down near the dams,
The frogs were going insane
The frogs-
last night.
frogs are still going off today. They're still popping down the front dam. I heard them. But yeah, we're looking at making a fertilizer out of the toad as well. So that's something I'm really interested in doing, like just organic hydroponics as well. As the garden is still running as a peaponics system down at Ipswich. So yeah, it's there's ways to grow that work really, really well for anyone, even if they don't have access to soil. So that's something I want to start looking at as well. Once I pull my finger out and sort stuff out. A few more comments.
Okay. Have you thought about the layout of vegetables in your aquaponics? Mel Bartholomew square foot gardening layouts would be amazing to see in aquaponics.
No, I just overplant. My theory is it's the nutrients. It's like hydroponics. You can massively overplant hydroponics from my experience in the past, and you can actually get better results than the square foot method. It's actually quite insane what you can fit in a small amount. Yeah, I've massively overplanted, and as long as the feed rate's up to the fish and you've got the right plant selection, yeah, not a problem whatsoever. You can, and actually at times it pays to overplant because you end up with so much nitrate going in the system as the fish mature. You want to get it out there, so that's something I've sort of haven't done in the past. I sort of kept the tomatoes out of the system because the root masses just go insane.
Oh, yeah.
They basically clogged up half a bed, and when I pulled them out, it started to get a bit stinky down
We
there.
do have a couple of issues too, with the tomatoes taking on too much water as well, and then the fruit you'd pick them and the skin would split.
Yeah, they were just I think that was just more a heat and a summer issue.
Yeah,
Like a variety as
they
well.
were taking up too much water.
So yeah, but yeah, you can massively overplant them.
Liberty DIY said, it worked so good. Soon here in Texas, I will repeat as well, expand.
Oh, here we go. Up the following inspiration, I built out an aquaponic system.
Sorry, I
10
missed
to
that
20
one.
greenhouse in the backyard of my house.
On a US military base in
Japan.
in 2014.
Cool. That's great to hear. So you guys are just becoming, you're back in Texas. Yeah. So what sort of fish would you use over there? Would you just go with the tilapia, or would you go catfish or something else? I've seen a few people run the bass. Bass would be something I'd like to run. I've just got no experience with them. The Aussie bass, that is, not the American. I know some plants are harmful to have growing in aquaponics as they may harm the fish. No, I never had that problem. I've never come across a plant that's harmful in aquaponics. More so they get out of control and they just overtake the system either root wise or just over the surface.
I'm sure growing something that's not edible, but
no, I can't.
But even then, it's not.
As long as it's only the root content and the leaves aren't falling and breaking down, like what's the talking about it the other day, the latex plant, Grandma Gardens. Starts with I think, maybe. Anyway, unless there's something that a plant that has a toxin in the sap or something that might be an issue. Oleander starts with an I, started with a vowel.
Ollie?
It started with a vowel.
Yeah.
Oleander, something like that, where the sap gets into the water. I can't really think of anything. I'm more than happy to be told that there is something.
I'm just thinking like a eucalypt or something where you've got the high oil content of the decaying matter, but even then.
Mum's garden did fine with about that much eucalyptus leaves over the top of it. Yeah. What was that? Iron bark and the what are they? Kadaji? The ones.
Not the pain
in the butt ones.
The black one.
Yeah, that's an iron bark.
That's an iron bark.
Yes. Do you know what happened to the Chinese guy?
South Australia that did aquaponics. I love
Citizen Chang. Yeah, I've looked him up. I know he was a Chinese expat and he was a Christian. So
What is
that's
that?
Citizen Peng. Said Chang before, it's Peng.
PEPA.
Peng. He had a really good system below ground and he was expanding. It was around the time he was expanding that he just disappeared. I don't think his videos are even on YouTube anymore when I went to have a look. Citizen Peng. Do aquaponics Citizen Peng. Yeah, he's really is a utopia. There's an old Reddit post that's popped
7
up.
years ago.
Vegetables for commercial. Click on that. Is that his channel or is that
7 years ago?
Yeah, he's on someone else's channel, I think. So he was going commercial. He'd started doing the larger greenhouse, but he was also a university professor as well from memory. So he may have just decided to get off social media. Quite possible. I know a few people over the years in the gardening and growing community that happened. They just had a gutful and left. So,
That's that dude's channel.
Melbourne Aquaponics. Yeah. Yeah, so no, I don't know what happened with him. He was growing in rock. He had some deep water culture and he was doing goldfish for the restaurant trade. So he had obviously ties to the Chinese community and he was growing
Goldfish.
because it's auspicious to eat certain times of years. That is an interesting chat. I wanted to. We did have a plan to go down to Victoria and see Cheryl at one point years ago, and I was going to. Oh, Cheryl, sorry, you guys don't know Cheryl. She's a friend of ours. Got mother to our firstborn. We're going to go down and visit her, and stop off on the way on the car trip. But yeah, it just didn't happen. Yeah, it's not there anymore. He's gone.
No, even there's like a manual doesn't appear.
Yeah, it's unfortunately,
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway, yeah, he's
disappear
gone,
like
mate.
that.
Yeah. Channels and videos all gone. Love the beard. Not a problem. Cheers, Sam.
Is borage okay to grow in aquaponics? What about marigolds? I've done marigolds.
Yeah, I've done marigolds. Marigolds thrive. They grow really well. Actually found a load of lacewings hanging around the flowers, so it's always good to have as a bit of biological control to have lacewings around. And borage, we didn't have any in the aquaponic. It just went feral in the backyard.
We stuck it in a container and it ended up in the lawn.
Yeah, so at the moment, Kira's mowing asparagus, comfrey, borage. She's not mowing and lettuce. So it's just the backyard is just sporadic wild foods that come up. The asparagus they're leaving, but actually it's dying off now anyway, this time of year. The comfrey they're leaving. So yeah, they're just going to have little patches of gardens they can build around. So it's pretty cool.
Liberty DIY uses bluegills and other sunfish
Bluegill,
varieties.
okay, cool. Yeah. That's what
You use the same as well as tilapia in the States.
What's that?
They'll in Texas, they'll use the same as well as tilapia.
Yeah. Survival podcast. Jack uses bluegill pretty much all in all of his, which reminds me that's something else I got to add to the guide. Bluegill, I've seen some big ones, but they look like more ornamental ones. There was an aquarium behind the guy, but I've been told they get up to over.
So they're not eating.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're an indigenous. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they get up pretty big. The ones that I've seen looked ornamental. I think they get up to at least 3/4 of a pound. So that's yeah. Their fillets look like they'd be pretty thin. So Bianca's just brought them up on her PC. So yeah, the ones that I see are all around that side. They're like a mid-size fish.
Hey, funky looking.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Bit of a piranha shaped head, that
Yeah,
one.
and the body as well. They've got that disc look to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
pretty cool fish. Antonio.
I've been told that you can plant two, one closer in aquaponics and hydroponics than you can in soil.
Yeah,
The square foot method could be turbocharged in aquaponics.
most definitely. We lettuce is a great one. You just let a lettuce plant go to seed and just shake it, and it just becomes a lawn in there. Gets to the point where you just mow it off as almost not even microgreens, like salad bag mix. Just take them off at level.
That was easier.
Pardon?
That was easier.
That was easier, yeah. Oh, one thing. Saw a crazy post the other day. If any of you guys are on Facebook aquaponics groups, be careful of some of the AI stuff that's being posted over there. I know the IAVS guys have got a guy trolling them who's just doing, actually, I think he does some hydroponic stuff as well. And he's just getting AI generated stuff and just putting it online. And a lot of it is like, I wouldn't say dangerous. Well, it's dangerous as your plants and the fish won't do well. But it's just really bad information. The latest one was having chickens over your fish tank.
Crapping straight into your water.
Yeah, don't do that. I know there's in one of the old permaculture guys, the Bible. Actually, I could probably show you the picture. I'd have to find it. It's downstairs. In the original permaculture book, Bill Mollison popped out with retro. Oh, his name always escapes me. Anyway, the Bible, yeah, they do a thing where it's poultry above pigs, above fish, and you just in my mind, you're asking for salmonella and other issues and other diseases to be put through, especially if you have that water then splashing onto leafy greens. That would be my main concern, because you can cook meat and meat would be fine. You're not going to get anything coming through, but it's that water, the contamination from the water splashing onto the vegetables. You could end up with some real issues. This is why they don't use sewage water to irrigate food crops like salads. They do citrus, I think, in Australia. I think they did a trial there.
They treat it first.
Yeah, it's treated. It's not like night soil mixed with water.
No.
Like, yeah. But plants will actually take organisms into their roots, and if they're taking bacteria and diseases into their roots and then transporting, I don't know how effective a virus would be, or a bacteria, a bacteriophage, or a really deadly one to get into the plant material itself, but just the active water splashing onto the outside of the leaves.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. Duckponics apparently is fine because they don't spread salmonella, like poultry. But yeah, pigs over a fish pen, just yeah. But I think that guy's just going around and trying to get social media clout or something, and just putting stuff into ChatGPT and seeing what comes out.
Yeah. Bluegills and other sunfish could eat is at about 1 pound.
1 pound. Oh, so they do get
the
up.
bigger ones propagate.
Yeah, that's the big issue we have, is the jade perch won't spawn. And
Well, they will.
Oh, they will.
A couple of injections and
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Seen that.
no.
Should I include that in the guide? Showing how Australian fish are done? Probably should. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting for people
to watch them do it. And
yeah.
Oh my God, it just smelled so strong that day.
What's that? The fish?
Every time I think of it, I just think of the smell. Because he
Bruce.
Yeah, he did them in clove oil.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he sedated them in clove oil.
Yeah, and
that's
the smell was just so strong while you're watching everything. It was just
reminds me of corned beef. Cloves, clovey beef.
Yeah,
no.
And Tony said, have you ever done experiments with air plants?
Air plants, as in airponics? No, I haven't. There was someone, I don't know if he's a friend or just scrolling through groups. But I've seen someone trialing it at the moment with aquaponics. People have done it for years in aquaponics and hydroponics. Most of the people I know who've tried it previously in barrels type design. So you get like a 44-gallon drum, cut some holes in the side, some little cups that sit in, hold the plants, and the roots just dangle. Then you put a mister down through the top and a mist aeroponic drum. That's one that I've seen DIY'd a couple of times. And then you've just got like a tote with a lid, and then the mist, nutrient-rich water misting up from below. That's another basic DIY one.
That'd be good for orchids. Yeah, like sensitive. They have like sensitive water routine.
Yeah, oh, they just do fine by themselves. I don't think they need anything special. Yeah. Oh, the ones that the epiphytes and stuff like that, I've seen, right? Yeah. But the big issue with the aquaponics is the fine solids that are going to clog up the nozzles. That's the issue. Yeah. Even hydroponics, I've seen guys have salts build up and stuff their misters. So it's Jack's paw. Oh no, it's you. It's Jack's paw. He's out to it today. Anyway, it's Jack.
This puppy.
Cactus puppy. Oh, there's our missing country. Where are you? There you are. Yes. So aeroponics does work well. It's just I haven't seen anyone do it long term successfully aquaponics wise.
Tony said seen a video about the chicken aquaponics, but that suggested that, but chicken waste in digestive feeder. Hang on, English, Bianca.
Oh yeah, just making up
But
like a
chicken
compost.
waste
Yeah.
Digestive feeder straight to just plants, no fish would work. Don't do it with food plot. Maybe cotton or hemp.
Yeah, well, the other way you can do it too is you run it through. If you want to, if you really want to process waste like that, I'd run it through so you've got your chicken set up, scrape out their night hutch, throw that into a black soldier fly bin with all your meat scraps and dairy scraps and oily scraps, everything you can't compost or you don't want to because it's going to attract rodents. Let the black soldier fly smash through that. Black soldier fly jump out, self-harvest themselves, become chicken food and more eggs and more chicken poop. And then when it comes time to clean out the black soldier fly bedding, throw that into a compost worm bin, and then have the worms smash through that, the compost worms smash through that, and then what comes out the end is been too long. There'd be nothing left.
There was that
We do the human waste as
I
well.
remember watching that company in New Zealand, and they were breeding rabbits for the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
And they were all
New Zealand whites, yeah.
all above ground in cages, and then as they crap, they actually had all these collectors and worm.
Yeah.
And they were doing all work, so they were like selling rabbit meat and worm cast at the same time. And
well, we've got another bucket that we need to bury of scraps, and that's while it's fine. We're making nutrient-rich little areas. We're going to put trees down the line. It would be so much better to have them in the black soldier fly feeder and dilute going straight back into the chicken coop. We just don't. The amount of rats and mice we've seen around the place here. We don't really want to throw a lot of scraps, like overdo the scraps in with the chicken. Like they get some leafy greens. There's a couple of furry cucumbers.
They're going to get the bread that I found that Jack had hidden.
We went out and Jack won't eat when we leave. He gets stresses. So he's pulled a bag of sourdough off the bench.
And stuffed it in the couch downstairs.
So Bianca was down there doing, we put the dog teeth in?
No.
She's doing another skull.
I'm doing another skull. No, I was doing something else. I sat down and there was this plastic rustle behind me, and I pulled out half a loaf of sourdough bread that had been jammed into the back of the couch.
Yeah, so, yeah. We wondered why he was looking a little bit funny when we got home, like he'd done something wrong, but we couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What were we talking about? Talking about scraps. Oh yeah. So we got a couple of scraps. You right there?
Sorry.
See, I bore people, folks. I tell you, I bore people. What's your opinion on using duckweed in aquaponic system? Would it be a supplement for chicken feed? our chickens loved it. Oh, it reminds me, I've got to do the sprouting one for the guide too.
Our third dam was covered in it.
Yeah.
Zola. And then we turned into a creek and it all got washed
away. There will be a little bit left down there, I'd say. Some of it would have got stuck under the lily pad. If you're going to raise it in the aquaponic system to feed your fish, or you're doing a cycling nutrients around, you'll end up with if you just rely on a nutrient deficit in the system. If you're growing, if you've got a little pond to one side, or even just a bucket, and you pop some chicken poop in there and let the duckweed grow on top, and use those nutrients, and then feed that to the chickens. The fish. Well, then you're bringing nutrients from outside in. Maybe don't use chicken poo, salmonella, or whatever. You know what I mean? Nutrient-rich source. Grow your duckweed, then pop that in for the fish. Then you're introducing nutrients into the system. Good idea. If you're growing the duckweed to lower your nitrogen in the system and then feeding that to the chickens, because your nitrogen's gone through the roof, as your feed increases, that's also a good way to do it. Just be careful though, because if it gets, I've seen duckweed just take over the top of a media bed that has a high water level, just because it's and the pool. Sorry, Michael and Tina. Yeah, we had some duckweed it was after the floods, the 2011 floods, and their pool just got decimated, ended up with like soil in the bottom. They just threw their hands up in the air for a little while and didn't look after it. There's other things going on. And then the ducks would come and visit our duckweed,
pigeons,
and the other birds. And then they'd flew over and landed in their pool, landed up with a green duckweed full pool. If you ever watch this, we're very sorry.
When they cleaned it out, they gave us a couple of buckets.
Yeah, we got buckets on the back, and then because
our plants
died, yeah.
So
that was pretty cool.
We just offset the growth.
Yeah, but Azolla actually is nutrient dense for humans, they say. Duckweed is, but Azolla works better in patties or lentil patties or something like that. But both of them, the chickens will eat, we found. Yeah, so definitely a suggestion. Even just growing sprouts in your aquaponics. Like we grew sprouts in our aquaponics. There's videos on the channel on it. They did really, really well. And it's just automated. You don't have to go out there and rinse them every day. Flooding and draining of the bed looks after it all. So
we were doing that with the
wheat berries.
The wheat seeds for the chickens and stuff.
Yeah, we had we were at that point we were making our own flour for sourdough. And I actually started making sprouted sourdough, which was really cool. You sprout your sourdough. So you basically just let it get its little tail, and then you drain it, dry it out a bit, put it through. We had a Thermomix at the time, which is a high-powered kitchen chopper cooker thingy. Yeah, so I was making like a wet dough out of the sprouted wheat. And yeah, we made some awesome sourdough out of that.
I reckon it's better for you too, because it changes
the makeup of the
yeah.
So yeah, sprouting in aquaponics is really good. I don't know if I'd eat the sprouts like a sprouted berry from the aquaponics. Like it might taste a bit fishy. I don't know. No. Don't all foods grown in aquaponics taste like fish? You sure? Someone told me on Facebook they do.
If you used ultrasonic foggers, you might be able to make a non-clogging aquaponics aeroponic system.
Yeah, I've seen those guys use the what were they using it for? They were using it for oxygen, were they? Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, no, I do remember seeing an ultrasonic. Never looked into it. I'd have to look into it.
Why buy a fogger?
For the mushrooms.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I wonder if we could use that. I wonder if the plate would get clogged up with the solids though, because you'd never get all the solids out.
Probably.
Oh.
Have you ever tried making a DIY
space cone? The aquaponics aeration. Nope, haven't tried one of them. I've seen. I was playing with the idea when I was first getting into mineralization tanks to do one for the mineralizing the waste coming out the aquaponic system. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, I never got around to actually doing the build. I got the parts. I think I just settled on, because I had the spare compressor. I just threw the the stones in there, it was just easier. Generally, bacteria cannot survive in plants. Yeah, that's
Where their stems are under 17 degrees Celsius.
yeah, that's what they were talking about when they were doing the, because I'm sure it was Toowoomba Council, or may have been out near Laidley or something. They were talking about, it was during the drought, and they started doing reclaimed sewage for the water, for all the water in Toowoomba. I don't know if they still do it, or it was just something they did during the drought. But there was
a lot of angry people about that.
Yeah, a lot of angry people. There was they tabled a study or documents about pathogens being taken up by the plants, which is what plants do, and then break them down, use them, assimilate them, blah blah blah. But I only ever thought it got to the root zone and never actually went up to the foliage. So they settled on using, I'm fairly sure it was citrus trees. They said citrus trees would be okay. So anyway, yeah. Wizard Aquaponics, long time no chat. I was thinking about you the other day, Dazza. I hope everything is going well. Are you still doing stuff?
Your root zone video in the making for you.
Woohoo! Cool. So are you still in the same residency? Still having your landlord issues? I know that I've never tried catfish in aquaponics, but do you know someone who has? Michael, if Michael's on here. I know Michael is up in the northeast and he does bullhead. Sorry, Michael.
What's his face? When he had the cafe. Yeah, catfish in it.
There you go, Ben. You've been resigned to being called
Sorry.
What's his face.
Sorry. Ben.
He's from Tambo. He's where
I remember him. That's a plus.
Yeah. I was looking at his fish just yesterday in a video.
Yeah.
Ben had
catfish.
yeah, he had forktail and he also had the tandanus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had both.
Well, his fish always looked really happy.
Yeah, the bullhead catfish, they use them commercially and people use them in aquaponics. And what's the other one? There's bullhead and channel catfish. Yeah, I don't think Michael had channel, I think he had bullhead. But they use both of them in aquaponics and they do fairly well. Dual root zone, that reminds me, I've got to do. There's about 8 more videos coming to the guide. We've got sprouts.
Should you just make a new one?
Well, then I'm just going to have to, what, a new guide?
Yeah.
No, because then all the people have already bought this one will miss out. See, I'm not a very good businessman. So if I made a new one, I'd have to charge them again and I'd make more money and I'd make millions. I'm a YouTuber, of course.
You'd be a really bad supervillain, wouldn't you? The end.
The end. Well, only that, I'd feel bad and have to give
and then I'd give it all back. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we might call it quits there because Bianca's yawning. I've bored her to death.
I gotta go glue in some teeth.
Yeah, she's got to glue in some teeth. She got one of the dogs that I got down on the dam. We've staved the skull and she's going to do that.
Yeah.
We got a crocodile and we've got a human. It's not a real human.
My possum's up here.
There's a possum up here. Oh, actually, I'm going to show you another one.
There's a possum on there.
People probably aren't interested in this, but I'll do it anyway.
Oh, yeah. A little, what's a tiny baby Joey.
Hey, a baby Joey. Probably got chased, mum probably got chased by a fox or a dog and threw the Joey out. So, yeah.
I've got that other kangaroo head on
the wallaby that the fox got.
Yeah, the fox attacked. We found another wallaby that a fox killed. So
what has Bianca been seeing every night?
Oh, another fox.
Yes, we had she saw a real dark one running down the wrong side of the house. The neighbours are over there, so
yeah, so no bang bang.
It's we could shotgun, but we'd have to shoot down, and I probably wouldn't do it anyway. It's just not worth it because you got to know what's behind your target.
I wonder if it's because the fox light
the fox lights
on
on
the
the other
chicken
side of
pen.
the house, so the fox was that way and the fox lights that way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in good news, in really good news, folks, this is awesome news. I
Oh, God, yeah.
went to the accountant the other week. If I buy a thermal scope for the rifle, I can claim it on tax as long as I use vision recorded on it on the channel here. So we could go out and we could go wallaby hunting, just not hunting like spotting to get video for you guys, and I could claim that on tax. So what do you guys reckon? Like if you guys could just leave comments down below and say Bianca buying one, that would be absolutely awesome. Can't afford to buy a new lawnmower, but a thermal scope.
Right.
Like, ah, dear.
Do
Cool.
not encourage you.
Not a problem. Anyway, I'm going to go now, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed a bit of the hangout. So yeah, we are trying to do these at least every month and do at least a video to the channel every second week. There will be a video coming soon looking at the garden setup and what we're doing, hopefully with a bit of a sneak peek at the sand one on the YouTube channel. So, just need to fix the ute so I can get the sand. That's the other thing. If anyone has a BT, why do their wheels keep locking up after you drive through water? So I need to get try to free up the passenger side rear wheel. Can't free it up, so I'm gonna have to pull it off and give it a bit of a massage with a rubber mallet. We'll get a mechanic out here to do a proper job. Anyway,
If we can loosen it, we can get it down to the
mechanic.
and
Yeah.
Bundy.
Anyway, we will leave it there. I do hope you're all well and happy.
Yes.
We'll catch you later. You gonna say goodbye, Jack? No, you're just gonna stare at me and say I want something. Cool, folks. The top one. I remember where to turn it off this time,
Do you?
Bianca. It's this
Really?
one. Yeah, I do.
But can he do it?
Explore what little gun rights you have left. We can have guns. Do you want me to keep talking about that?
Exploit. No.
Oh, exploit. Oh, explore. Oh, I thought he wanted a lecture. No, okay. Cool.
It's all right, we're not in WA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting bad. It's getting
Yeah,
bad.
it is getting bad.
Aye. Oh. Oh my.
And
End.
end.
Bye.
Bye.